Welcome. This is an educational video on non-cannabis plants and fungi that contain cannabinoids and cannabimimetic compounds. The text was compiled by Dr. Sandy Sandbar. The video was prepared by Tyler Sandbar, BSc in Computer Science, and narrated by Artificial Intelligence, with grateful assistance from Microsoft Pilot. Beside the cannabis species, many plants and fungi contain cannabinoids and cannabimimetic compounds, which affect the human endocannabinoid system, ECS. The plants that manufacture these compounds, or metabolites, do so primarily to protect themselves. Plants, like all living creatures, have two categories of metabolites. Primary metabolites are directly involved in the structure, growth, and reproduction of every plant. The metabolites include sugars, amino acids, organic acids, fatty acids, and phosphorylated compounds. There are also a number of other specialized metabolites. The secondary metabolites of plants are a botanical form of chemical warfare. These molecules are churned out to deter pests, put off grazing herbivores, and even protect the organism against UV rays. Some metabolites are antibacterial and antioxidants. Some fight against cancer cells. Plant cannabinoids, terpenes, and flavonoids fall into the chemical category of secondary metabolites. The terpenes and flavonoids provide the beauty of flowers with their unique individual smell, aroma, and radiant colors that are inviting and captivating to distribute pollen and plant seeds. In 1979, the late Dr. Raphael Mechoulam, who is known as the father of cannabis research, discovered THC and helped to identify the key components of the endocannabinoid system. CBD was first isolated and identified by Dr. Roger Adams and his team in 1940 at the University of Illinois. Anandamide was discovered in 1992. The CB1 and CB2 receptors were discovered in 1988 and 1993, respectively. And 2-arachidonyl glycerol, or 2-AG for short, was identified as an endocannabinoid in 1995. Cannabinoids were initially defined as molecules or compounds found in cannabis plants that interact directly with two human cannabinoid receptors, CB1 and CB2, of the endocannabinoid system. The new definition of cannabinoids has broadened, especially as a substantial and growing list of plants and organisms has been found to contain cannabinoids and cannabimimetic, cannabinoid-like compounds. Cannabimimetic compounds denote non-cannabis molecules derived from plants and fungi, other than cannabis, that mimic the effects of classical cannabinoids at the human ECS receptor sites. These cannabimimetic compounds may interact directly on the ECS and satisfy the pharmacological definition of cannabinoids. Other cannabimimetic molecules interact indirectly with human ECS receptors by influencing other components of the system, such as enzyme activity. Thus, cannabinoids are by no means exclusive to the cannabis plant. For example, there are 9 species of the Echinacea genus, commonly known as coneflowers. They are native to North America, and they are used for holistic purposes. They are widely available in preparations such as teas, tinctures, and capsules. The principal active constituents of Echinacea are known as alkamides. Alkamides closely resemble the chemical structures of human endocannabinoids, namely anandamide and 2-AG. They interact with the two major ECS receptors, cannabinoid receptor 1, CB1, and cannabinoid receptor 2, CB2. Alkamides also demonstrate activity on peroxisome proliferator activated receptors, PPRs, which are sites that make up the expanded endocannabinoid system. The electric daisy plant has edible perennial flowers. When chewed, they make the tongue tingle. Natives in Brazil and Argentina have traditionally used this flower to tackle toothache. The electric daisy produces a substance called spilanthol. Spilanthol displays level of affinity to bind to the CB2 receptor, which plays a significant role in the immune response. The woolly umbrella is a fast-growing perennial which develops sulfur yellow flowers with umbrella-like blooms. It is native to southern Africa, from the highlands of Zimbabwe to those of the Eastern Cape. The plant produces a phenethyl analog of CBG, cannabigerol, known as Healy-CBG, which is non-psychogenic and binds to CB2 receptor. CBG has health benefits, such as antimicrobial, antioxidant, and anti-inflammatory properties. The liverwort species belongs to a division of plants called bryophytes. It possesses no roots or vascular tissues and instead obtains water and nutrients through the air. It is native to New Zealand. Traditional Maori healers, known as tohunga, practice rongoa Maori, a holistic healing system that incorporates herbal remedies, physical therapies, and spiritual healing. Maori healers in the region have traditionally used liverwort to benefit the liver and digestive system. The plant produces a psychoactive molecule that closely resembles THC, known as pyridotine, PT, which can cause a legal high. Black pepper spice contains beta-caryophyllene, which also occurs in common herbs such as cloves, basil, and oregano. Beta-caryophyllene qualifies as both a terpene and a cannabinoid. It is one of the most abundant terpenes found in cannabis and contributes flavor of spice and sweetness to different strains. Beta-caryophyllene is also a dietary cannabinoid, which binds to the CB2 with potency, stronger than CBD. It potentially manages inflammation, accelerates fracture healing, and may tackle anxiety and depression. Black pepper contains another cannabimimetic compound called guanosine, which inhibits the uptake of anandamide and temporarily increases circulating levels. Chocolate grows on trees, starts life as cacao beans. It is native to the Amazon. The Mayans used it in spiritual ceremonies, and the Aztec Emperor Moctezuma II drank cacao beverages from a golden goblet. Dark chocolate contains the endocannabinoid anandamide, much like THC. It binds to the CB1 receptor, where it has a positive impact on mood. Anandamide levels also surge during exercise, causing the euphoria of the runner's high. Black truffles are ground-dwelling sclerotia. They are magic mushrooms contain the bliss molecule anandamide, like humans, but do not contain psilocybin. They are prized culinary fungi that have the genetic code necessary to manufacture endocannabinoids and enzymes. Truffles rely on endocannabinoids to make the melanin that forms their black exterior. Truffles are very expensive. The Chinese rhododendron is an evergreen shrub, grows at altitudes of 3,000 meters, 9,000 feet above southwestern China and northeastern Myanmar. It reaches heights of 10 meters, 30 feet, and blooms large trusses of cream-yellow flowers. In 2011, scientists in Japan found 5 cannabinoid analogs, including a CBC type, CBL type, and CBT type. They also discovered 2 cannabimimetic, cannabinoid-like substances in the plant, known as anthrapogocyclolic acid and anthropogochromenic acid. In 2020, researchers unveiled an additional 20 meroterpenes that may have anti-inflammatory properties. The kava plant is used by native occupants of islands scattered throughout the Pacific Ocean, including Tonga, Fiji, and Vanuatu, to alter consciousness. People frequently go to dedicated kava bars, which serve bowlfuls of preparations made from the plant. The roots contain a group of active constituents known as kavalactones, which impart euphoric and sleepy sensations. These effects are similar to those of cannabis, and the kavalactone yangonin binds to the CB1 receptor, the same site THC, and produces a high. Carrots are root vegetables that are eaten stewed, steamed, roasted, and fresh. They contain a cannabinoid by the name of falcarinol, which is found also in parsley and celery. Falcarinol binds to the CB1 receptor and CB2, but it shows selective alkylation of the CB1 receptor. Unlike agonists such as THC, falcarinol acts as an antagonist at the CB1 site, meaning it temporarily blocks other ligands from binding to the receptor. Researchers are exploring the role of CB1 antagonists in conditions such as obesity, but it disagreeably aggravates histamine-induced skin reactions, similar to the known CB1 inverse agonist rimonabant. The Brassica genus includes broccoli, cauliflower, turnip, kohlrabi, cabbage, and many other plants. Interestingly, these vegetables stem from the same plant. They result from selective breeding. Brassica vegetables contain the benefits of vitamins, minerals, and potent antioxidants. This family of vegetables also contains a cannabinoid that is widespread throughout the genus. The dietary indole DM, diindolylmethane, works as a partial agonist of the CB2 receptor, like CBD. Ongoing trials are testing the indole for anti-tumor, antiviral, antibacterial, and immunomodulatory potential. The cottonweed plant is an aromatic perennial herb that belongs to the daisy family and favors the warm and dry climates of the Mediterranean, where it roots into the sand. It plays an important ecological role by stabilizing dunes over time. Traditional cultures in the region use the cottonweed plant as a holistic herb to soothe the body and boost the immune system. Modern research has uncovered terpenes, flavonoids, and cannabinoids during phytochemical investigations of the plant. Extracts from the plant contain several compounds of interest, particularly alkylamides that bind to both CB1 and CB2 receptors. Maca is also known as Peruvian ginseng. It is an Andean tuber which has surged in popularity over recent years as a superfood packed full of vitamins, minerals, and polyphenols. In addition to the wealth of key nutrients, maca contains alkylamides that bind to ECS receptors directly and modulate the ECS. The alkylamides are long-chain fatty acids called macamides that are able to inhibit anandamide-degrading enzymes, enabling the body to get high off its own supply. The staff-vine family of plants, or the Celastraceae, contains over 1,300 species of herbs, vines, and trees found mainly within tropical climates. Many members of this family produce a secondary metabolite that interfaces with the ECS. The terpene pristimerin interferes with the activity of an enzyme called monoacyl glycerol lipase, MAGL, which works to break down the endocannabinoid 2-AG, which regulates many physiological functions, including appetite, immune function, and pain management. Pristimerin offers a potential means of boosting anandamide. Turmeric is a colorful spice and a member of the ginger family. It maintains a revered status in several cultures. It has a special place in both Ayurveda and traditional Chinese holistic practices. Recent studies have examined the anti-inflammatory potential of this plant. Some studies are investigating using cannabis and turmeric as a two-pronged treatment for digestive diseases. Many of turmeric's benefits stem from the constituent curcumin, a polyphenol that interacts with the endocannabinoid system. This molecule binds to CB1 and CB2 receptors and increases endocannabinoid levels in the brain. Curcumin also upregulates CB2 expression and downregulates CB1, a mechanism that is being explored for its usefulness in liver fibrosis. The hops plant is interesting because it has some striking similarities to the cannabis plant. Both hops and cannabis belong to the 170 species strong family Cannabaceae. Also, both of them possess glandular trichomes that churn out high levels of aromatic terpenes. Craft beer brewers harness the pungency of hops terpenes to infuse their creations with these volatile molecules. Hops does not contain traditional cannabinoids, but they produce the CB2 agonist beta-caryophyllene, along with other terpenes found in cannabis, such as myrcene and humulene. The tea plant provides a small dose of caffeine. It also supplies the body with antioxidants and molecules that strengthen the bones and support heart health. Catechins are one of the major constituents in the tea plant. In addition to boasting immune-boosting and neuroprotective potential, these molecules bind to ECS receptors, particularly those situated in the central nervous system. Rudigraveolens. Rue is the common name, but it has a fancier herb of grace. Rudigraveolens is an ornamental plant species native to the Balkan Peninsula. The plant has a history of culinary use, and medieval physicians used the herb to sharpen eyesight and dissipate flatulence. While hunting for phytocannabinoids, researchers discovered the presence of rutamarin in the species. Studies show that this derivative of the chemical coumarin binds to the CB2 receptor, suggesting a potential role in the future of cannabinoid therapeutics. The Magnolia officinalis plant is a large deciduous tree, stems from the mountains and valleys of China. Traditional Chinese practitioners use the bark of this species to alleviate phlegm and promote sleep. It contains several cannabinoids including 1. Honokiol, which fully activates the CB1 receptor. 2. Magnolol behaves as a particle CB2 agonist, meaning it only slightly activates the site. 3. Transisomagnolol is another chemical present in the tree which activates a site called GPR55, a candidate for the designation of the CB3 receptor. The Proteum heptaphyllum B tree is a member of the Burseraceae family. It produces an aromatic resin containing pharmacologically active molecules. Traditionally, it has been used to soothe the body. Modern analysis of Proteum heptaphyllum B has detected the triterpene B-amarin within this sticky substance. This chemical occurs in a range of plants and fungi and interfaces with the ECS. The metabolite works as an antagonist of the CB1 receptor. It also inhibits MAGL, monoamine glycerol lipase, suggesting that it helps to temporarily boost 2-AG levels, which bind to CB2 receptors. Chilies. This is used to make food spicy. It has the molecule capsaicin that causes heat experience. Capsaicin binds to a receptor called transient receptor potential cation channel subfamily V member 1, TRPV1, to produce this heat effect. The capsaicin receptor does more than detect heat. It is involved in pain signaling and immune cell function. Cannabinoids such as CBD and the endocannabinoid anandamide also bind to this site, leading some researchers to tag TRPV1 as the third cannabinoid receptor, a designation that would make capsaicin meet the definition of a cannabinoid or cannabimimetic compound. Cordyceps annulata is a fungus which, like black truffles, produces cannabinoids. Fungi are a distinct kingdom of their own. They are genetically closer to animals than they are to plants. The Cordyceps genus is unusual in the world of fungi. Its spores infect a variety of insects, take over their bodies with a mycelium network, and send fruiting bodies bursting out to disperse more spores. Cordyceps mushrooms have a long history of use and are prized in Chinese holistic practices. Cordyceps annulata is one of the members of the genus, which produces dihydrobenzophorans, known as annulatines, that binds to the CB1 and CB2 receptors. The turkey tail is a common fungus that rots the decaying wood of over 70 tree species and grows in a shelf-like formation. Its characteristic concentric circles and smooth, white pore surface makes it easy to spot. Turkey tail contains polysaccharides, complex carbohydrates, currently used as an adjuvant cancer therapy in Japan. One of the polysaccharides is called polysaccharopeptide, PSP, which binds to CB2 receptors. Researchers are exploring whether this mechanism might help to alleviate pain and inflammation. Chaga are mushrooms that are known as the king of the medicinal mushrooms. It is a life form steeped in mystery. Foragers, meaning people or animals who collect edible plants or fungi for consumption, delight when they come across this rare species, chaga. Many people also follow in the footsteps of the Khanty people of Siberia by decocting it into a tea. Interestingly, chaga is not technically a mushroom because it forms a dense, black mass on the side of host trees, known as a sclerotium. Chaga contains an array of intriguing compounds, including betulinic acid, a triterpene that interacts with CB1 and CB2 receptors. Currently, researchers are exploring the anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and immunomodulatory potential of this chemical. Thank you for watching this educational video.